Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by Team Slideshow. In this part, you will learn how to create this simple health insurance record exploratory analysis dashboard. This is part 1 of this project. This project will have multiple parts in it. So you should subscribe to our channel for more parts. In this part, we will learn how to create the dashboard that you are seeing here with these different filters and these different visuals that you can see on a screen. Here you can see we have considered insurance cost as our target field, and we are trying to see effect of different categorical fields on insurance cost, like insurance cost by alcohol consumption habit, by cholesterol level, by other insurance, yes or no, by insurance location or location of that particular user, insurance cost by gender or by exercise. So you can see there, but we have a lot more variables. We have many other numbers also, which you will learn in second part. So let's get started with part 1 and learn how to create this dashboard, and it's a very beginner friendly tutorial, so you will learn in detail. So for Power BI dashboard, the data set that we have today is an health insurance data. In this data you can see we have a variable or field called insurance cost. This is our target field. So whenever we are doing data analysis, we have a target field. So by target field here we mean that this is insurance cost that these different users are paying or applicants are paying, and this cost is not same for all of them, right? Why it is not same for all of them? First of all, we have got this data set from Kaggle. Okay, so this is the home page of this data set, and here users write different type of business problems. Okay, then they also write in exploratory data analysis what you need to do, like you need to do univariate analysis, bivariate analysis. So in bivariate analysis you find relationship between different variables. Okay, like, so then if one field is our target variable like insurance cost, so, and let's say this variable exercise, so this applicant does moderate exercise and pays a insurance cost of 20,978. Okay, so person who is not doing any exercise is paying this much. So idea is to find out what is average insurance cost for different exercise categories, right? What is insurance cost for different locations, or and in bivariate we try to compare these things. Okay, in bivariate we try to see if location has any effect on insurance cost, or are male paying more on an average or female paying more on an average. Okay, so when we have these type of variables, some of them are numbers like year of insurance with us. Okay, this is from a company's point of view, and they are giving information of years of insurance with them. And for example, this particular applicant has 7 years. Okay, then we have occupation, whether they are salaried student, etc. So on the basis of different fields, we have to find out, we have to compare insurance cost. Okay, and so when we create a dashboard, we open Power BI, and then in our previous class we connected Excel workbook. Okay, but this file that we have downloaded from Kaggle is a CSV file, it's not Excel file. Okay, so here, while connecting this file, you will go to get data and click on text CSV, not Excel workbook. Okay, you will click on text CSV. So based on what type of file you have, or based on where you have your data, like if your data is stored on a server, then you will connect that server. Right now it is not on a server, it is on a downloaded file, that is text CSV file. So we will simply connect that. Now it will take us to that folder, or you can now navigate to that folder and connect your file, and here you have your data file. Based on number of rows in data, your file will be connected, and now you can see. So when we were connecting an Excel file, it was showing us sheet and table, right? Because in Excel file there can be n number of sheets, right? But in a CSV file there is only one file, so it is not showing us select sheet, it is directly showing us data. So you can import. Now once CSV file is connected, you have to make sure that all the column names and data is properly appearing here. Okay, sometimes you will see column 1, column 2, column 3 written here, and headers will not be properly written. So we will take such examples in future as well, where header names will not appear properly. Then you will go to transform your data. Okay, so while loading data, if there are any, if there are any errors in loading, or if there are any errors in format of data, then you will transform data. So if you will click on transform data, it will open Power Query Editor for you. Okay, this is interface of Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, you can see we have different options like keep rows, remove rows. Suppose we want to remove some rows from top. Suppose we want to remove some rows from bottom. Okay, or you have home tab, transform tab, add column tab, and in add column tab you can see we have different type of operations here, operators here. So in transform you can see we can split column. For example, name is given as first name comma last name. So you can split column, right, by delimiter. So we will have specific chapters for Power Query Editor, where we will learn transformation, where we will learn conditional column addition. One more thing is there. Suppose it is given occupation here and ABC is written. So you can right click and change its data type here. So sometimes you will see wrong data type in your columns. Okay. For example, year of insurance with us is 123. That means it's a number. Okay. Applicant ID is 123. It is a number. But what if we want to change its type to a text value? Okay. So we want to change its type to a text value. So you can see now it is asking, do you want to replace current column? Like, do you want to overwrite it, or you want to add it as a new step, right? Like you want to copy some. So these type of operations can be done using Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, we can also join multiple files. Suppose half data is given in this file and rest of data is given in new file, some Excel file, or so sometimes data will be given in multiple files. So then you can connect another file here. That is also we will see. Because we have not made any change, we will simply close Power Query Editor. But Power Query Editor will be a separate chapter for you guys, so that you can learn it. Because we haven't changed anything, so we will say discard. So will not apply any change. but you can change. Okay. So now Power Query Editor option can be accessed from different places. It can be accessed from transform. So transform data. Okay. And when you will load data, for example your CSV file, so at the time of loading your data, then also transform button will appear. It will redirect you to Power Query Editor. Then you can load it. So this is our data, and we are not transforming it right now. We are simply loading this data, and 25,000 rows are very quickly loaded. You can see. This depends upon your computer configuration and type of file and number of rows in data, but this is what it will look like. When a data is loaded, you will see report view, a table view where you will see all your columns, right? It's just the table view as in Excel. Okay. Then you have your data model view. Data model view will be useful when we have multiple tables. So we can actually add multiple tables also. So we'll see examples where we will add 3 tables, and we will see one example where we will add 11 tables. Okay. And create a model. So those type of examples will come. This is single file, a single CSV file of insurance data. Now, this is our dashboard. This is our canvas. Okay. On this canvas, we can put elements. So, and in home tab, we have visual, text box, and more visuals. Okay. So in home tab, we can add some text box. So first is text box. Text box gives you, or whoever will view this dashboard. So this text box is for them to understand what is happening, right? And it is also there to give some kind of notes. So you will click on text box. So from home tab, you will click on text box, and now this text box appears where you can type. Okay. So what we'll write is health insurance records exploratory data analysis. And this is our part 1, because we will create at least 4 or 5 dashboards here. Okay. Because there are so many fields here, right? And so many fields that need to be checked. So, and our target field is insurance cost, which we are considering, like, and as I said, which age group is paying more, right? And which gender is paying more, which location, which occupation is paying more. So we have to find that, those kind of answers. Okay. So now when we are adding a text box, you can see this is height of text box, and using our mouse left click, by clicking it, we can adjust its height and width. Okay. So you can adjust its height and width. So what we are doing is, we are keeping around 70% as width, around 70%. Then we will select our font, give it a font size of around 28. And now you can see it fits perfectly, right? And then we will mark it as bold, so that if, obviously once it's bold, we have to increase its width, and it fits. So I will just mark it as 24 pixels then. Okay. Because I have to leave this area for filters, which I will show you later. Now we can select align it, right? And this is color menu, from where we can select its color. Okay. So this is how you will format your font. Then these are the font settings on page itself, like when we are editing it. And whenever you will select any element in Power BI, in format pane, this is format pane, okay, this is filter pane where our filters will come, and this is data pane where you will have your data tables, okay. So data pane, format pane, filter pane, and this ribbon will have all the elements from where you can drag or insert them onto our canvas, or we can do some operations, okay. So in effects, we will use effects very often, right? We'll use effects quite frequently, and in effects you can enable shadow and border. So you click on your text box, format pane will appear, you go to effect, you can enable visual border, you can enable shadow. This is not necessary, but you can see it adds a 3D kind of look and feel to your text. Then we have kept this area blank. So in this area, we will click on insert, okay, and in insert tab you can see different type of elements, Q&A, key influence, etc., etc. For elements, you have to look for elements where you will find shape, okay. So we will click on shape, and then we can use our mouse to drag it, we can use our mouse to resize it, okay, mouse left click. So we will resize it like this and put it here, okay, and we can increase width of our text, and we can click elements and just increase or decrease their margin from top and bottom. It's just like web designing, like designing a web page kind of thing, okay. Now this was a text box, so when we clicked on it, we were seeing options to change settings and style of this text box. Now if we click on this shape, now you will see format option for this shape. So when we have not clicked anywhere, it is visualization, okay. When we have clicked on text properties, when we have clicked on shape, all the options to format shape. We'll click on a style here, and then we can give it a color like this, whatever matches our font. So this is optional, but this is how you can give a shape, or you can put a shape here. Next is we have image also, okay, image. So here I have a folder called assets. In assets folder I have kept a lot of images, okay. So one image is this image, I will send you these images, and one image is this image where you can see it's a transparent image, okay. So if you download any image as PNG in PNG format as a transparent image, then you can see it is blending properly with color. If we change color, so you can see, right? So it's a white image and it can blend. So I will provide you these images, and I will teach you later how to create these type of images using Canva. Like these type of images can easily be created using Canva, okay. Canva is a graphic designing tool which you can use to create these type of images, and there are many, and you can ask Chat GPT to create images, like create an image for me, it will create an image. You can use Gemini to create an image, so you can use these chatbots. I will take that session later, but I will provide these link to these images in the video description. So now we have our dashboard layout, right? And then save your work. Just press Ctrl S and save your work. So we are saving in this folder E health insurance data, and we will call it health insurance dashboard or whatever you want to call it, and save. Each time you will make any changes here, you will save your work, otherwise you will lose your work. Okay. So now we have our text ready, we have our sidebar ready, and our image ready. Next, so sequence will be like this. You can note this down. One, you will connect data, right? And depending upon what type of data it is, you will use connector. Second, insert. You will go to insert home. So you will go to insert tab and insert text box and give it give a heading to your dashboard. Third is you will again go to insert, add a shape, choose rectangle and use in sidebar. Okay, as we have done, this is a sidebar. Okay, so we will use in sidebar, and so this is sequence right now. So first we have inserted text box and then we have inserted a shape, and you can give it a color, you can give it a styling as per your liking. And fourth is insert image. These are for your practice also, right? So you will insert image and put it on shape sidebar, where we have pasted it. Next we will create KPIs. Okay. Now what is the KPI? KPI is a key performance indicator. Okay. So for KPIs, we are now studying a type of visual, that is card visual. Okay, a card visual. So you will practice this today. You will, so now after this you will click on canvas. This is our canvas. Okay, this is canvas. You will click on canvas, not two times, only one time. You will click on canvas and then go to visualization. In visualization you will click on card visual. Okay, so now it is taking this entire area. What this card visual does is it shows one single data. Okay, a single data, one data. Okay, it can be any aggregate value. It shows one value actually. It can be any aggregate value. So for example, we want to see total insurance cost this company has got. Okay, so from our data pane we will drag insurance cost onto this card visual, and it will automatically tell us sum of insurance cost. Okay, again, so what we have done is we have added a card visual, and then from our data pane we have dragged insurance cost on this, and then it will show output like this. Okay, now it is automatically showing sum, so you can click on this arrow. It is automatically showing you sum. You can select average, you can select minimum. So when someone will ask you to describe a data or describe a field, so you will, from a statistics point of view, so you will describe it like this, that total cost is this, average cost is this, minimum for a patient or minimum for a user is this, like that. So right now we are showing it as sum of insurance cost. This is called value, and this is called label, right? So now if I will click on it, I can reduce its height and width, right? So I can arrange it like this. Then here you can see we have format your visual setting. If I will click on canvas, then we have no setting. If I will click on this, then we have this setting, format your visual setting. Okay. Here we will go to callout value, and in callout value we will give it some color. This color, I am choosing this color. We can reduce its font size or increase its font size. We can change its font family. Okay. So you will try these things for your practice. Then we have category label also. So in a card visual, we have a callout value and we have a category label. We can disable category label. Okay. We can enable category label. This is category label. We are enabling category label and we are giving it a color orange. Okay. You can give any other color, and we are making it bold and giving it a color of orange. Okay. So you will try this setting. Obviously this video is getting recorded, so you will play this video, pause it at those instances, repeat, and then if you have any problem you can ask in next class. One more thing is there, its name is appearing as sum of insurance cost. Okay. So you can click here and click on rename for this visual. So you can rename it as total insurance cost. Okay. Let's say total insurance cost. So these were some settings. You can click on it. Again go to format your visual. So in formatting there are two settings, visual and general. Visual and general. In every chart, okay, there will be visual formatting and general formatting. In general formatting you will find this effect and you will just enable this shadow. Okay. So now it appears like a card, like a 3D card or something. Then you can copy it. So you can copy Control C or copy visual, and then you can press Control V or paste visual, and we will arrange it like this. Okay. And these red lines will help you in arranging elements, right? You can see these red lines mean now we are properly aligned in parallel, right? If we are right, so these red lines will guide you. So we will put 4 or 5 elements here. Now because we are adding 5, so we can reduce their width, right? We can reduce their width like this. So you can put these 5 elements here, and these will be your KPIs. So one row, like see, it is not a rule, but what I mostly do is I keep the first row as KPI row. Okay. So that we can understand what we are doing, or we can because we are exploring data, so we are trying to understand. Then total insurance cost is this. Then we can click on second one, and then we will select average. Okay. And we will rename it as average insurance cost, right? So on an average they are paying 27,000 rupees. Then we can click on it and select variance. You can see variance is very high. Okay. So we can call it insurance cost variance, or we can simply write var. So insurance cost variance is very high. That means there will be huge difference between minimum and maximum value. So if you click here, you can see minimum value is 2400 and maximum value is 67,000, right? So when there is a big difference between different values, then obviously that is what variance means, right? That there is variance in data. So these are some statistical functions that you can directly apply on your visuals. Okay. You can also see median value, it is 27,000. Median is almost same as average, like very much close, and this is how you will describe your data, and these are all important for statistical analysis. So so this will be median insurance cost. And finally, now let's say we want to see how many users are there. Okay, so we will uncheck it. Now this card will become blank. Okay, whenever you have to show how many users are there, for example, if it is a order data, so you have to show how many orders are placed. If it is a data of customers, so you will show how many customers are there. If it is a data of patients, you will show how many patients are there, right? So for that, always look for a column like ID, right? Here we have applicant ID. This applicant ID is unique, and yeah, but here actually there is one thing. You can see it has 54 distinct values and it has 25,000 rows. That means for 54 applicants, these are all transactions maybe, right? Because 54 distinct values are there, which is written here, right? 54 distinct values. So how will we get this number? So it is in applicant ID. So you will click on applicant ID and it is showing 437 million, but this is not making any sense because right now it is considering it as a number. Okay, so if you, then you will say count, then it will say 25,000. Okay, so if you want to show total number of transactions, maybe in this case, then you will show, this count. But if you want to show count of applicants, so you will select count distinct. Okay, so here you will say distinct and it is showing this. So I don't know why it was showing that column in. Okay, actually we have selected insurance cost, that's why. Applicant ID is 25, that's why I was confused why it is happening. So now you can see count of applicant, because it's a ID and here each row represents one applicant. So that's why count distinct and count will show the same value. Okay, whether you say. So whenever it's ID and you have to show number of records, you will select count distinct. Okay, and if you have to show number of transactions, you will select count. So it will show number of transactions. Okay, one more thing, let's uncheck this. If we click on a column, okay, column or field, whatever you call it, if you click on a field, then you will see that you will see column tools. If you will click on a table, you will see table tools highlighted. So if we have clicked on a column, then column tools are highlighted, and here we will see its structure, its formatting, its properties, sorting, groups, relationship and calculations. There are so many things we will understand later. But today you have to focus on structure and formatting. Okay. This applicant ID is given as a whole number. What if we say it's a text value? Obviously it's a number, but for us, this ID, we are not going to apply mathematical operators on it, right? Like sum, minimum, maximum. So when you will select this and now select, so now it will not be able to show sum, minimum, maximum, right? Because sum, minimum and maximum will only be applicable to numeric values. So now it is showing first, last. So first value, last value is this. Okay. And now we can select count distinct, is still the same answer. So from here we can actually change data type. One more thing, insurance cost is a monetary value, right? It's a money. So here you can see we have dollar written. So we can click on it and suppose it's INR. So then you will scroll and find INR somewhere like this, Bangla India we have found, and now it will start showing with this rupee symbol. So this is what format does, right? We have formatted it as a currency. It's a whole number. As a data type, it's a whole number, but its formatting is in currency. So Power BI is automatically showing that. Okay. Next step is we will create some filters. Okay. So to create filters, you have to remember. So now click on canvas, add card visual, and here you can show KPIs, right, which we have done. Then add slicer visual for filters. So we will add slicer visual for filters. So to do that, you will see this slicer visual. So you will click on slicer. There are two slicers. We are clicking on old slicer, or फिर we will arrange it here like this. Slicers are used for filters. So we will add first categorical value, that is alcohol, as slicer. So this, whether they take daily alcohol, no, or rare. So average insurance cost is 27,000. If we select daily, 26,000, no, 27,000, rare, 27,000. So you can see difference between difference in average insurance cost of people who are taking alcohol daily, rare, or no, right? Then for these slicers, we can also go to slicer visual settings, as we did for card visual settings. For card visual settings, there were different options, no? Because it was showing a value, it was showing a label. They are showing filters. So you will see vertical list, you will see it as a drop down. Just set it as a drop down. Okay. So that people can click here, then apply filter. So in slicer, you will set it as a drop down. Next, you will click on it, copy and paste. Next categorical value is cholesterol level. Okay. We will drag cholesterol level. Cholesterol level is given between the, so let's see, if they have cholesterol level 225, average insurance cost this. If they have cholesterol level this, average insurance cost this. Okay. So there is some difference, and obviously these are synthetic data. Like these are synthetic data, and in synthetic data, sometimes if we try to compare them with real time scenarios, you will not be able to conclude it. But when you will get actual data, then you will see that maybe people who have high cholesterol level, their average insurance cost is higher or their premium is higher. That's how insurance companies may charge them, right? So you will see their median value and all. So we will see many such examples, and while we are formatting them, you can give this type of color to your filters also, right? So obviously visual settings are very important, but you can focus on visual settings later. First you will focus on how we are bringing data, then we are copying it, then third is covered by no or yes. So this is covered by any other company. Okay. So whether they have any other company, they have taken insurance by any other company, yes or no. So if they have yes, their insurance cost is higher. For no, their insurance cost is lower, right? So these are different type of issues. So then we will just remove an exercise. So we are not considering numbers right now. We are only considering text values, right? Like alcohol, cholesterol level, this. How, like, how am I recognizing them? Because this sigma sign, right? Exercise, extreme, moderate, no, right? If they are doing no exercise, their insurance cost is low. If they are doing this and for moderate this, right? So this is how you will do. Then gender, which is very important for this type of comparisons. Then after gender, we will have location. So this is data from India. So we have the major cities of India. So in Ahmedabad, 25,000. Bangalore 25,000. Let's see what is in Lucknow, 26,000. So this is a synthetic data set, and as per data set, this is how companies are charging. Now, what is meant by this? Like, why are we doing all this? Let's say someone asks you that you are doing a survey, or someone is asking you what should be my insurance cost, and you will ask what is your age, what is your city, right? What is your alcohol consumption or exercise criteria, whether you exercise daily, this, that, right? Occupation, etc., etc., etc. So there are so many fields here, right? So you will ask them these questions, and then you will say, okay, your insurance cost will be 25,000. But how will you come up with this value, right? What is the criteria, or how will you calculate this, that their insurance cost is 25,000? Let's say these are all variables, right? Let's say x1, x2, x3. These are all variables. X1 is age, x2 is city, x3 is exercise, and so on, right? Up to xn. So there will be some formula that insurance cost, I am writing IC, insurance cost equal to M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3. It will not be this simple, but there will be some formula, no? Mn xn plus z, something like that. Are you getting my point? Like we studied equation of line in our initial classes, y is equal to mx plus b or mx plus c, right? Where y is output, x is input, and m is slope of line, and b is line intercept, where that line touches y-axis. Like now you have to remember these things, right? So how it worked was, let's say this is y-axis, this is x-axis, this is our x-axis, this is y-axis. Let's say this is a line. So this line has a slope, right? Tan theta, which we studied in our initial classes, and it is touching y on this point. So this is your b value. Slope m is equal to tan theta, right? Is your slope, and on the basis of this, for any x, if you will, if you know m and if you know b, then for any x you can find y, right? So that's what is happening. Let's say y is insurance cost and x is, let's say, age. Okay, so for any age, if we know m and if we know b, So we can tell that if your age is 50, your insurance cost will be this. But to our surprise, this M is not only MX, it is, we have these many fields. So our formula will also include, and it will not necessarily be in a straight line, because obviously it's not a one versus one relation, right? So, so that formula calculation is done with the help of machine learning algorithms. Okay, there are many machine learning algorithms that are there, and these machine learning algorithms with their accuracy can predict this value for us. Okay, now what we are doing here while doing EDA, while doing exploratory data analysis, we are trying to figure out which variables are important or which variables actually have effect on our output. Are you getting this point? For example, if we selected location Delhi, insurance cost is different there. In Guwahati, it is different. Suppose it was same for all cities, then we will exclude city from that formula, right? Everything is same for it. If for any variable, let's say whether male are paying more or female, so if we clear all filters and select male here, they are paying 27,400. They are paying 27,600. Very small difference. So a small difference and big difference is on the basis of correlation, right? Like, so it is measured between -1 to 1, you can say. -1 means, minus value means if this increases, that decreases. Something like that, if that is a number. So obviously it's little bit complicated than that. So what we are doing here is we are trying to figure out which variables have effect on our target field, that is total insurance cost. Okay, and that's why we are keeping so many filters, because that's why I have kept it as part 1, because obviously as a beginner in Power BI we cannot put so many visuals. So that's why we will keep these 7 visuals, or I will make it easy, I will keep 6 of them. Okay, is it okay? Or we can put 8, or let's keep 6 for right now. We are keeping 6, and that's why I said this will be in multiple parts, this particular project. And as a beginner you will be able to understand, okay, these variables have more effect on our value, right? Target field, these effect are have no effect on our target field, like that. Now once we have set our filters, now it's time to see effect of our filters on our target field. So first is alcohol. Okay, so we have selected alcohol or alcohol, however you pronounce it. And what is our target field? So our variable is alcohol. Our target field is what? Insurance. So we'll select insurance cost, and then Power BI automatically shows sum of insurance cost by different type of alcohol habits. Are you getting this point? Right? And so it is showing that, and it is total cost. Okay. So if you are, yeah, if you are analyzing from sales point of view, then total cost will matter. Like, okay, like which is our target audience. But if you are doing it from insurance cost prediction point of view, then using average will be a better value, right? So that we can see for no and rare it is in the range of 27, but for daily it is 26. Okay, like that. And this is a table visual. It's good. but we can now easily change it to a stack bar chart, right? Obviously these visuals, because they are almost of same height, so that's why it is appearing like this, right? So now what we can do, we have created a stack bar chart which we studied in previous classes also. And in a stacked bar chart, if you will go to format visual setting, you will see a lot more options than a card or a slicer, right? We have y axis, we have x axis, and in a stacked bar chart, categorical field is on y axis, remember, and number is on x axis. Now it is asking for a range. So to compare them in a better way, what if we say that minimum value, we know that all of them are more than 26,000, okay? What if we write 26,000 here? That take minimum value as 26,000 instead of 0. Now you can compare them. Na? Now you can easily tell that for no it is high, for rare second, for daily minimum, right? Amongst these three. So that's what you can do, and that's why they have given this minimum. You can increase this, okay? Like, okay, let's say so we can do 26,500. Then we can get a better idea, okay? That's what we do. And now we can go to its general settings where we will find its title, which we can use. And I'm saying you can ignore these visual settings right now. Obviously, this is something you can follow later, but whatever we are doing from data loading point of view, you have to follow. Next, in general, you will also find effect, so you can enable shadow, right? So this is average of insurance cost by alcohol. Now, in visual settings itself, there is something called data labels. So you can click on it to show these values also. See, and their position is auto. We will say all of them inside end so that we can compare them, right? Their value is very light. We can increase its size. We can make it bold so that we can see. Now it's more detailed, right? So this is what we can do. Now we can see that by different alcohol consumption, you know, habit, different type of alcohol consumption, we can see insurance cost. Now we can copy this visual and paste, okay, and paste again, because in one row, as I said, we are going to arrange three of them for now as a beginner. So this is one row, and then we will select all of them, copy and paste all of them, okay. So now they will be pasted as a group. So now we have this. Next is we next is what? Cholesterol level. Okay. So you just change this, select cholesterol level. So cholesterol level and insurance cost. In insurance cost, let's keep some minimum or some other, let's say variance. Okay. So variance of insurance cost by cholesterol level. So you can see variance, and you can see this or average insurance cost, which is our target field. So you can see that how average cost is varying, right? And you can see for cholesterol level 200 to 225 it is high. Just for variety we can also use the stack column chart, okay? And in a stack column chart you can see now we are not able to see these numbers which we were able to see. So for that you will go to data label, and instead of inside end you will select outside end, okay. You can make these type of adjustments. Horizontal you will select vertical, okay. So this type of setting, I'm just showing you different options. optimize label. So you have these different options. Okay, or you can also select a different type of graph so that we can compare them. So another graph that we can use for this same combination, bivariate. Bivariate means two variables, right? One categorical, one numerical, and that is tree map. It is better now. You can see. We can see that for 200 to 225 it is 27,600, right? For this it is, and where it is highest this is on top, and where it is lowest it is on bottom. Okay, so what tree map does is it does the same thing as a bar chart does, but it shows you as a rectangle, and area of that rectangle basically represents your value, which is cholesterol, which is average insurance cost, right? And we can rename for our visual as AVG insurance cost so that we can easily read it. So we'll call it this average insurance cost. So value which will be on bottom corner, bottom right corner will be lowest, and value that is on uh, top left corner will be highest. Okay, so it arranges data like that, a tree map. Okay, and we can see there is some difference there, so obviously we can check it. Next is average of insurance cost. So next is by any other company, no or yes. Okay, when you have no or yes type of data, in that case, see, you can use for bivariate in our case, because we are considering one category and one number, we can use bar for all of them. Okay, but we are just seeing different values. So if there are two values, most of the times we select a donut or pie chart also. For two or three values we can use. Obviously we can use pie chart for all of them, but right now. So let's use a donut chart here. And in donut chart, instead of alcohol, let's say covered by an insurance. Okay. So now you can see yes 29,000, no 26,000. So this will be an important variable for us, right? And you can see the pane. I have to change the name again and again. Okay. So later we will learn how to create measures that we can use again and again, and in that case we don't have to change the name. Okay. So this is average insurance cost by covered by any other company. So on the basis of our selected values, it is automatically formatting the title also. Okay, but suppose you want to change this title. Okay, so you can go to title and you can change it from here. Okay, average insurance cost by other company or something like that. Then we have exercise, so we will replace it with exercise, and we can use a vertical bar easily, right? We can change everything. So you can click here. So let's say we want to change. So other company, let's say we want to, but you have to make it meaningful, right? Like let's say covered by other. Let's say we just want to write it like this, covered by other. So you can do this, and this will also be changed. You can also click here and change legend position. So right now it is center right. You can disable it also. You can disable it, enable it. You can align it in bottom center like this. So yes and no, right? Also on detail labels, you can switch them on or off. and you can select what you want to display. Suppose you just want to display exact value and not percentage, because pie chart and donut chart are mostly used to compare percentage, right? Here selecting sum will be more meaningful. So that's why, let's say we just want to see category and data value. So for y this value and for n this value, and then we can go and disable legend. Okay. These are slices. Suppose we want to change color of these slices. So let's say for yes, we want to show this color or maybe lighter. So we can select it like that, right? So you can change colors also as per your need. So you can go to slices and maybe let's say we want to select this or this color. Slices. In donut there is slices. Okay. So we can show it like this also. Okay. And this is average of insurance cost by exercise. So here these values are appearing in thousands, right? Let's say we want to show these values, but so you can see value. So here you have to explore these things. Okay. What I am using right now is data label. Okay. Data label x axis and y axis. We are not going in these options, but let's say you want to change column colors. So you can select, let's say for moderate, we want to select this orange color. Okay. For extreme, we want to select this blue color. Okay. And for no, we want to select this color. So you can change it like that. So right now I am just focusing on whatever it is giving by default, but you can do that. Okay. You can change these colors. Also in data visual values like data labels, we can go to value setting, and here it is showing display unit. So we can say display unit in millions. Okay. So now it will start showing in millions. Display unit in none. Then it will start showing the same number. In thousands. Then it will start showing in thousands. Right. So in every visual you can go and change their unit also. Like here you can see it is automatically showing million. Here it is showing thousand. So Power BI will automatically decide best number for you, like best suffix to use, but you can also change as per your requirement. Okay. Next is we have exercise. We have done gender. So average insurance cost by other. Then we also have gender, right? So here we will replace it with gender, and here you can choose female, male as it is written, or you can also select a pie chart. Pie chart and a donut chart are same, only difference it is hollow here, right? So here actually we can put some values also. Sometimes we do. I will teach you how to do that. Sometimes for better visual appeal, we put a number inside it so that we can see that number. Now average insurance cost by gender, you can see it is almost same, 49.94, 50.06. And let's say we don't want average, we want total value, like we don't want to see average. So in total you can see we have more value from male, okay, in our data. So this depends upon, and this depends that more applicants are female or male, right? So we can do that kind of analysis. And finally by location. So if you select location, so obviously you can show it like this, but Power BI has a built-in chart for location. Okay, that is a map chart. If you will click on map, it will try to select it, and but for that you have to select location on location. Okay. So let me show you once again. In every visual like this, there are these fields: legend, value, detail. So in a pie chart or a donut chart, in legend we put categorical field. Okay. So I'm just writing here in, and obviously we are going to do this a lot, right? So you will eventually get it. So in pie and donut, or anywhere where legend is written, okay, we mostly put categorical fields with 2 to let's say 2 to 6, 2 to 5 or 6 distinct values, right? Like for example, gender female male 2 values, or exercise moderate extreme no 3 values, right? So in legend we mostly put that 2 to 5 values can be easily visualized, and obviously if there are 50 distinct values we can visualize, but it will be very difficult to understand. So in pie, donut, or wherever legend is given, mostly we do that. It is not mandatory, but mostly we do that. Next is in bar. So you have to understand whether it's vertical or horizontal. Okay. In bar horizontal, y axis is a number. Okay. This is what you have to remember. So, and these are the charts we have used. In map are also of, you can see map are also of 3 types here in my case. In your case you will see 2 types, right? So in map there are 2 types, map and field map. Okay, we'll learn about field map later with that type of example. Simple, a state will be used in a field map, a city will be used in a map, in a bubble map. Okay, because city is a small point, right, as compared to a state. So enough, right? So in a state you can fill it easily, right? But a city, if you are viewing city from far, obviously you can fill a state with a color, but you cannot fill city, right? So that's why. So like that's why these maps are this is map, and it's a bubble chart. You can say it's a bubble map. So here in location you will add location variable, but this location variable should have a valid name for that location, right? Should have valid name for that city. That then only it will appear like this, right? And then in bubble size you will put your number, bubble size. And, and if you are not sure about it, then let me show you a simple way. You just decide you have to create a map chart, okay, from here. Now it's an empty map chart. Obviously nothing is selected. It's an empty map chart. Okay. So what you will do is you will just click here. Okay. It's an empty map chart. Now select map chart, select your location, and select your insurance cost or whatever is your field. Okay. Then if it selects in legend, just drag it to location and you will automatically see this. Okay. Now what is it showing is bubble diameter or radius of these circles is actually representing cost of insurance, total cost of insurance. Okay. So almost of the all of them are in range, whatever this is, 46 lakh, 4 crore 62 lakh 99,680. Okay, all of them are in 4 crore range. So that's why we are seeing it like this. So but if we had huge difference between them, then yeah, size of bubble would have been different. So for that, if we select average, let's say, then if we see maybe, but it's still very small difference, we are not able to identify, and that also tells us that this variable is not going to help us in predicting insurance cost, right? So now when you come to bubble, you can actually use a different scale now. So you can use a bigger scale, a smaller scale, you can see. It depends upon what scale you are using. So by default it will give you like this so that it best fits your data. Range scaling is auto. You can select magnitude, data range. If you select data range, then you can see some difference. For example, in Delhi 26,000, but this is bigger. Here it is 27,000, right? And you can change bubble color also. Let's say instead of this blue you want this blue, or maybe you want pink, whatever. So this is average insurance cost by location. Okay, and now you can click on it, format painter, and apply, which I will tell you later also what is this format painter thing is. It's just like Excel, you copy formatting of other chart in this chart, right? So now after this, this is our dashboard that we have created. Okay, so this is part 1. So in part 1 we have covered these categorical fields. Then we are still left with some categorical fields like smoking status and etc., which we will cover in next part, or you can try. We can actually put, okay, we can adjust some more, like we can put 4 visuals in one row, and we can put values like occupation, smoking status. These two we can at least put. Okay, in next part we will see how to use different numerical values here, right? How to see for different numerical values, because these visuals will not work directly with them, right? Let me show you. If I select age and if I select insurance cost, so it is not making any sense, right? This is sum of age, this is, it is selecting like that. If I select this, then also, or this, right? But if I select scatter plot, 1 point. So what are those different settings for different for numbers? Okay, we'll study in our next class. Till then you can try this. Exactly, this is the most important thing, like for what type of data you can create what type of chart, and that is something that we can easily learn by using different examples, right? For example, here we are solving insurance data, then we will take one financial analysis data, we have student performance data, agricultural data. So when we'll use different type of examples, different type of use cases, then we will easily understand. And there are some visuals like, for example, ribbon chart, waterfall chart, which are there, funnel chart. These are very important visuals and like very useful visuals. And when we will use field map, and what is this shape map? How is it different from field map? How is it similar to? And it will not appear in your case, but it's appearing here. We created KPIs using these cards, but there is a particular card called KPI. So why I am not using this here, right? So a lot more, there is a lot more to discuss to understand. It will take at least 10 or 15 sessions to understand it, but it will be very clear. And here, for example, if I click and then say narrative, so then it is willing at this Bangalore had the highest average. So it will give you narrative also. So for any chart, if you click on narrative, you will see some text here. Sum of insurance cost for male was higher than. So this is something that you can write in your reports, right? That this is actually happening. So we will discuss more in the second part, and then till then you try this. If you have any doubts, you can discuss in the next chapter. And all of you watching online, you can ask your questions in the comment section below. We will be happy to help. Thanks for watching this part. Have a nice day.